Welcome to the Fit Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Dre, owner of Troy City Fitness, and today I'm going to give you guys an inside look at our specific nutrition system we've used with thousands of clients over the years to get them to the body of their dreams. Now, when it comes to nutrition, we like to keep it simple. It's not rocket science, guys. A lot of the major rules apply to almost everybody, all right, across the board, whether you're vegetarian, whether you have celiac disease, whether you have food intolerances, if you like to fast, you work day shifts, night shifts. A lot of the pillars that I'm going to go over with you guys today, these will definitely work for you. And there might just be some minor tweaks that you have to make depending on your circumstances and your goals. And I'll share with you guys exactly how you should tweak this depending on your specific goal. So if you're ready to get into it, pull your pen and pad out. Let's take some notes. And whatever I discuss today, let's make sure we do the most important part, and that's actually take steps towards getting healthier starting today. Take massive action if you feel like your nutrition is slipping and you're not where you want to be with your fitness goals. So number one, by far the most important thing that you have to do for the rest of your life, you have to give yourself a filter based off of the ingredients that you allow yourself to take in. Now for us, we like to keep it, I would say 90% paleo. If you don't know what a paleo diet means, basically means if it was walking on 2 or 4 legs at one time, if it was growing from a tree, if it is God made, then you can eat it. Okay? How many ingredients are there in chicken? How many ingredients are there in a potato, in a pineapple? So we are looking for these single ingredient foods that are going to digest better in our body, that's going to give us more micronutrients. They're not as calorie dense, and they're obviously not processed at all. These are the type of foods that we can eat in abundance that are going to keep us healthy and help us reach our fitness goals. So 90% of the time, I want you to stick to a specific ingredient list, and we want these to consist of natural whole foods. And this will give you a little bit of leniency, of course, to have some cheat meals here and there. If you want to have a glass of wine on the weekend, if you want to have a little bit of ice cream at the end of the day. The key with that 10% when you slip outside of the whole foods and you want to have something processed, it's portion control. So this is how you're going to monitor your nutrition. 90% of the day, we're sticking to those whole ingredient type foods, and that gives you a 10% leniency to get some of the bad stuff in, because we want to do this for life, right? And with that being said, any nutrition plan that you decide to follow, if you can't see yourself following it for the rest of your life, don't even start it. All right, it's not a final solution. Might get you some quick results, but those are going to be short-lived. And a lot of these fad diets that get you those quick results, they can really throw your metabolism for a loop. So we got this awesome ingredient list consisting of natural whole foods. Anytime you want to eat something from that list, you have to know what type of portions you should have for each type of macronutrient. For most women, you want to be having about 0.75 grams of protein per pound of lean body weight. Most men, we want to be at about 1 full gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, if we are looking to get in, let's say 150 grams of protein for the day, then that means that we would have to split that up throughout the day and definitely be getting a minimum of 30 grams of protein with breakfast, lunch, and dinner just to get us a little over halfway there. So I want you guys to remember this. The size of your palm is roughly 4 ounces of protein. 4 ounces of protein is roughly 20 grams of protein. So if we're just going to eyeball this thing, and I know I want to get 30 to 40 grams of protein with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then I want to get the size of my palm times 1.5 or 2, depending on your total body weight, so that you could get anywhere from 30 to 40 grams of protein in per meal. And it doesn't matter if it's salmon, if it's ground beef, if it's chicken, if it's filet, the size of your palm is roughly going to be about 20 grams of protein. So really easy way to gauge that out. And then for your carbs, we want to be getting roughly about the size of your fist. Now think about this. If I'm a big guy, if I'm 6'4", like 300 pounds, my fist is going to be way bigger than a female who is 120 pounds, right? So this is why the hand measurement tool, it actually does work out great, because if you are a bigger person, then the size of your palm or your fist, it is going to be bigger, and that's the portion that you should be getting in. And then for your fats, you could always use the size of your thumb, okay, just to kind of gauge out how much fat you should be getting. I want you to keep in mind that 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, 1 gram of carbs is also 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So if you're having 2,000 calories an entire day, all of those calories, they're coming from either protein, carbs, or fat. So when my clients ask me questions like, don't you think this is too much protein I'm getting in? Am I going to gain weight this way? Well, if you're not getting a majority of your calories from protein, that means that they are coming from carbs or fat. So it's absolutely imperative that we're getting a large majority of our calories from protein, so that we're not just pulling them from the carbs and fat. And the other thing that people also don't take into consideration is the thermic effect of food. This basically means that your body requires energy. It burns calories to metabolize these different macronutrients. So protein requires the most calories for it to digest through your system. So you're also burning more calories by eating more protein. All right, so we have our ingredient list. You should have some solid portions that you want to stick to for each ingredient on that list. For most women, 100 pounds and 150 pounds is going to be about 4.5 ounces. If you are 170 pounds and up, it's probably going to be closer to 6 ounces. And if you're a man, then most likely, if you're anywhere from 150 pounds to 200 pounds, you want to be close to 8 ounces. If you're beyond 200 pounds, you could even bump it from 8 ounces plus, right? As long as, I'm assuming we're strength training at least 3 to 4 times a week as I'm giving all these suggestions, right? So we definitely have to support that stimulus by getting in all the nutrition that we need to be able to recover properly. The last portion of our nutrition system is, when do you eat all these different protein, carbs, and fats? So for breakfast, it's always a good idea to get your protein with your carbs, put them together so that you can have a proper meal replacement. If you're just doing protein by itself, if you're just waking up and slamming some eggs, we're not really giving the body any carbs, any natural fuel source to work off of. So I want you to get your carbs in the morning. If we are sticking paleo, personally, I like to get my fruit in the morning because I know I'm going to use it as energy throughout the day. So a perfect example of this would be, let's say you wanted to get 30 grams of protein in, you wanted to get some healthy carbs in. I could do 6 egg whites with a couple yolks mixed in there for some healthy fats. I could have a piece of fruit, maybe a grapefruit, and a big glass of water, because water is extremely important for sleep quality, muscle recovery, cognitive function, skin quality, and people don't know this. It is so important for fat loss. I'm going to get into that in a little bit later. So for breakfast, you want to make sure you're always getting a protein and a carb. A couple hours after that, I want you guys to supplement with a protein shake. All right, just strictly protein and water. You could definitely do some of those pre-made protein shakes like the Premier or the Owen, whatever it is. Personally, I like to make my own because I can control the quality of the protein powder, because I'm going to get something maybe from the Thorne brand or Prestige Labs brand. That's what we have at the gym. Very high quality protein powders, and they're NSF certified. NSF certified means that there's a third party regulation making sure that everything on the label is in line with everything that's actually in the bag. You guys would be shocked at all of these Costco brands and Muscle Milk and Gold Standard Whey, the really popular brands that sell these massive bags for super cheap. You're barely buying what you think you are. It says 20 grams of protein, it might actually be 10. That's because the FDA, they don't have as strict guidelines as something that is NSF certified. So you're always going to get what you pay for. Keep that in mind. And plus, it tastes a lot better too. Try it out. Prestige Labs brand, awesome tasting protein. So a couple hours after breakfast, I want you to just do 1 or 1.5 scoops of protein powder with water. This is going to help keep your metabolism moving. It's also going to help you hit your protein requirement, right? I'm 200 plus pounds. I got to get a lot of protein in throughout the day. It's hard for me to hit that number by just sitting down and having meals. A lot of times I don't have that luxury. So what I like to do for breakfast personally is I'll do a meal replacement smoothie. So that way I'm throwing in my protein powders, that takes care of my protein. I'm throwing in some fresh fruit for my carbs. I might even throw in some kale, some spinach so I could get some veggies, some extra fiber. And then a couple hours after that, I'm just doing straight protein and water to help me hit that daily protein requirement. And then a couple hours after that, we have our lunch meal. Lunch meal should look really similar to breakfast. Right? We got our protein, we have our carbs, and this is what's going to make a well-balanced meal. Another super easy option I like to do for lunchtime is Greek yogurt with some fresh mixed berries. If you do it in this way, you literally have two natural ingredients for the most part that you can just slap together. There's no prep time. And it's so easy, right? We're looking for easy, quick, convenient options. You could throw chia seeds on there, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, any type of berries is going to be your best bet when it comes to fruit because they are very low on the glycemic index and they're lower calorie compared to some of our higher sugar fruits such as pineapples, mangoes, bananas, watermelons, things like that. So I like to do my meal replacement smoothie for breakfast, quick protein shake right after that, and then maybe some Greek yogurt type of parfait that I like to switch up the flavors from time to time to keep it different. A couple hours after that, you want to get a second shake in. Okay, so just protein and water again for the same reasons we got the first one in. If you are new to all of this, you're new to exercise, you're used to having like 1 or 2 meals a day, and this seems like a lot, maybe you can hold off on the second shake for now. See how your body feels. If you're getting really hungry all the time, that is a very good sign. That means your metabolism is moving and your body is using all the nutrients that you're feeding. If that's the case, definitely get that second protein in. If you feel full, then hold off and save your calories for dinner so we could get some real animal protein in. And then as time goes on, your metabolism, it will open up. And when it does, you want to give it a little bit more as well. So dinner time comes around. This is the part that some of my clients do struggle with, but honestly, they feel so good in the morning that within a couple weeks, they come back and they're like, hey, actually, this nutrition system, it's not nearly as hard as I thought it would be. And I look better, I feel better, my digestion is better, my energy levels are through the roof. So why would I go back to how I was eating before? Doesn't make sense, right? So they get a lot of buy-in within a couple of weeks because of all of these benefits they're experiencing. So at dinner time, I want you to stick to protein, vegetables, and healthy fats. We want to avoid the carbs at nighttime unless you are trying to gain healthy weight. But if you're trying to lean out, if you're trying to burn fat, avoid those carbs at nighttime. Carbs are an energy source. And if you're loading up on carbs before bed, it's probably just going to turn into fat, especially if you're not waking up and doing some cardio immediately. So a good example of that for nighttime, we could do like a filet. Filet already has fat in it, so we probably don't have to add much to it. And then we could do some steamed vegetables with that. Also, another great option, you could do it like a chicken salad. Since chicken breast has very little fat, we could add some with like an olive oil based vinaigrette. So that is the meat and potatoes of our nutrition system. The most important parts of it is having an ingredient list, knowing what portions you should use for each ingredient, and then making sure you're not skipping any meals so that you can hit your daily protein requirements by getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner in, along with 1 to 2 shakes or protein-based snacks. If you can really get a hold of this and stick to this system 80 to 90% of the time for the rest of your life, you will always ensure that you keep your weight in check. You have all the nutrients you need to be able to build muscle when you are doing a strength training program. And then also that you're just going to feel good. Your energy levels are going to be there. Your digestion is going to be there. They say, happy wife, happy life. If you've ever had an upset gut, there's nothing worse, and there's nothing that's going to kill your mood faster than having some gut issues. So when your gut is happy, you will be happy. Take care of your body, and your body will take care of you. And remember, the most important thing when you learn a nutrition system like this is that you have to take massive action, and you have to have a really hot start. Give yourself 2 weeks of perfection. Don't try to half-ass this thing, do a couple days, and then the weekend comes around and you throw it all out the window. Because it could take weeks before you decide to pick up healthy habits again. Once you apply this nutrition system, I want you to go all in on it 2 weeks straight. If you don't feel a million times better, then go ahead and scrap it. But you do 2 weeks straight, I promise you the results that you see are going to motivate the hell out of you. More than I ever can, more than anybody else can. Your own results will take you way farther than anything else, because that is the ultimate form of motivation, is seeing the fruits of your labor. So give yourself those 2 weeks of absolute perfection so that you can earn those results and get motivated as hell to be able to take it to the next level and really solidify these habits into a lifestyle that will never fade. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this. But more than anything, I hope you take massive action tomorrow towards a healthier version of yourself. I'll see you in the next episode.